Hello and welcome back to the Engergia studio here at the Lisbon edition of Investor Days. And I'm joined now by Faria, who's from Engergia, Tecnica. And Rui, you're almost a service provider to this industry, correct?
Correct.
You're an engineering company, you put in the engineering systems. And what is really exciting about having that, and going back to an old analogy, I remember when I was working in the ICT space, a friend of mine told me, listen, if the network card manufacturers are selling a lot of network cards, the system is healthy. This is before cloud computing. And I put you in the same category. If you're busy, this market's going somewhere. So tell me, what are you seeing from your side of things? Also bear in mind some of the other comments that have been made by the Real Estate Association and things like that. And let's localize it. This is in Portuguese context. I'm not going to ask you to comment about Europe.
Okay. Yes, I'm a service provider for this whole process, and I think you gave a good example as an image. And yes, I will tell you my opinion on what is going on in Portugal. So there's almost nothing like new construction, and if the economy is okay, normally there's construction, and if there's construction, I have work to do on engineering services. So there's almost no construction. The only thing about a little bit moving about construction in Portugal is some type of foreign investor that looks for, like a second home, people from Central and North of Europe, perhaps some Chinese or Brazilians with money that want to buy an old building in Lisbon or in Oporto. Nothing more than this, Lisbon and Oporto. And, if there's a lot of situations like that, it's construction, so it moves a lot of money. And the excitation about the construction part is now this and only this. And it's a little bit different of what we are talking about here, because we want to do not retrofitting to put an old building that nobody lives there because you cannot live there because it's too old, to have a very trendy and fine house. What we are talking about is more on the retrofitting of service buildings, and where really you can measure and you can quantify these energy improvements. Okay, so it's a little bit of mistake. The market, it's not the same, and it's not a real thing on the subject that we are talking. So unfortunately, that's my opinion. I can say to you that I don't have so much work to do in Portugal, but as I put on my presentation that perhaps you can access it, it can be an opportunity, but I think for other reasons. Let's keep on the buildings, on the service buildings, that is offices, hotels, hospitals, whatever, services. And in Europe, from some years ago, Europe decided to have energy codes and to put these working everywhere. And Portugal is not different. We should comply with that, and we have energy codes. And these energy codes are working from 10 years from now. And at the beginning not, but after 10 years of strict, and I think, in my opinion, it's a good job. Now, energy efficiency and energy rating is an added value for the buildings. So, since this green trend is taking care of everybody, everybody wants to be green. And in the real estate, the owners feel that now as a value to the building. And every building needs to have a certificate, an energy certificate. You cannot rent a building, sell a building without that. So it's a part of the identity of the building.
So,
If,
so
if,
if I can replay that to you, it's a little bit like when the white good manufacturers, the fridges and the freezers,
yeah,
people,
it's the same.
they suddenly started saying, hang on a minute, this energy efficiency rating will help me shift more units because people are buying it. Is it very similar?
It's exactly the same way. Even sometimes we do that image of fridge because the building is like a fridge. You need to have a sticker. This building outside somewhere has a paper where you can read the energy rating of it. So it's like that, and it's a need because it's a value for the owner to have the most green possible rating. And now the users also look for buildings with good ratings. Why? Because of two good things. But one of the things it's for costs, because if you have a greener building, you spend less on energy. But it's more a trendy thing. It's good to have a green building, and it's good to have a low carbon print and whatever. But it works on the market. So there's one more information. It's that in these 10 years, in Portugal, because it started 2006, and in Europe, because Europe rules that, now we have two major changes on the energy codes. And the changes is to be more demanding. So one phenomena right now that is occurring is that one building that was audited 6 years ago, if you are going to audit the same building right now, you don't have the same energy rating, because the codes were changing. So you have a fridge like AAA plus plus plus, and now the same fridge has like C or D. So it becomes from green to red or orange. And when the owners are going to perceive that, and it's right now they are starting to perceive that, they arrive and they say that my building has less value than before, and it's the same building. So I'm sure they
and
want.
that is what's going to drive.
Yes, it's going to drive. It's going to drive. But the question is that the owners don't know that. They only would know that when they audit and ask for the new energy rating, because service buildings needs to have a new energy rating each 6 years. So if you have a building with the last energy rating from 5 years ago, next year it will be 2 letters less. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But now I think that's two problems. First one, the owners don't know that. They only realize that when they get the paper with the energy rating, and they say, well, it's not that, my building is A or B something green, and now you are giving something red. No, please go back and give me another paper. And the engineer cannot do that. He do the calculation, he puts on the right terms on the energy code, and it's what it is. And that means even if the owner decided to do something to this improvement, this retrofit, he's going to spend twice the costs for the energy audit, because he does one and then he needs to do another. This is one thing. Another thing is to do a retrofit, you need to invest. And in Portugal, most of the people, most of the owners, most of the corporations don't have money for that. So I think it's a very, very good opportunity. For instance, for ICP, that's one of the members, and all these things about investing in retrofitting, huge opportunity, because if all the parts of this process can work together, I think, because at the end, as a ESCO idea, or this whole idea, you can get your money back by the energy that you not spent. So the idea, it's an overall win-win-win-win. If it's well done, everybody wins, and it's very good. It's almost impossible to say how it's possible that everybody wins. But in this case, yes, because what's going to happen, it's your same building are spending less energy, so you are going to pay less in the future.
And just as we're kind of coming to the end of our time here, is your notion is that the tipping point will be the 6-year cycle or the event of the 6-year cycle, and look, everybody will hit that at a different point. But
It's coming.
but it is going to come, and then when it comes, the crucial job is that things need to be aligned so that people aren't paying for the same thing twice, and the knowledge of the fact that financing, etc., could be available through different means needs to be there. Now, is enough being done to communicate that?
No, and it's one of the things I addressed on my presentation. It's how can we communicate that? How can we inform the owners that this thing is going to happen, and that they should think about it and prepare for that? And it's not going to be easy. You have several possibilities, but I will tell you two. Or the ESCO, like a ESCO company, is going to knock door by door to the owners and say, well, I have something to sell you, very good to sell you. And it's, it's like...
That's not going to work.
And that's going to work, and there's really, like you perhaps do not trust this thing. And I think the trusty thing, all the owners are going to believe that, or at least think about it, is like the Portuguese energy agency, that, they really manage, and they have all the data from the owners and the energy rating and so on, and they know where is the deadline for the next energy audit and the next energy rating needs. So they could advise the owners with 1 or 2 years before, listen, from 2 years from now you are going to have a new audit, a new energy rating, and I'm sorry to tell you, but the energy codes are more strict, and your energy rating of your building is going to lower, and you are going to lose value on your building. Don't you want to think a little bit about it? And then have programs to give information, whatever. And then the owner, he can look a little bit for, and is going to...
And that gives people an opportunity.
Yes.
It gives you 2 years to solve a problem.
Yes, gives you time, gives you two things, because I think you already know that when you do an energy audit, when you do a retrofit, everything, all of these things, you need time, because it's not like you doing a PowerPoint or a document. You need to do works on the site. These things take time, so timing is very important. So you have two things: you have communication, you have information, and you have time. It's a simple idea, but I think if you have a good idea that's simple and that could work, I think it's the best. Simple ideas and not very complicated ideas.
And the best thing that can be done is that the information is out there. And unfortunately, we've come to the end of time. It's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been a pleasure to get a sense check of a barometer of, as a supplier to this industry, it's always an indication. It seems to me that, again, like with the other commentators, there's a lot of locked up potential, but it's not quite here yet.
Yeah, it's my opinion.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you as well for listening.